The Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is a cornered man. And the Deputy President is frustrated. And you can easily understand why the Deputy President is frustrated. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have successfully managed to thwart all his 2022 presidential plans. And for those who've been following the Deputy President, you can clearly tell from the body language, from his speeches, and from the way he's delivering the speeches that the Deputy President is actually frustrated. At some point in this country, the Deputy President bragged of having shifted the narrative from personalized attacks, from name calling, and from tribal politics to issue-based politics. In fact, at that time is when he came up with the bottoms-up approach. But of late, the Deputy President is exhibiting signs of a frustrated man, signs of a cornered man. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have actually pushed the Deputy President to a corner and is talking from that particular corner. I want you to listen to the Deputy President speaking on Saturday in Kiambu and pay close attention to his body language, to the tone, and his personalized attacks, something he had deviated from in the past.
Yani sisi watu tuko na mpango. Sisi watu tumepanga, kazi imekaa mzuri. Ati tumekosa akili. Ati tumekosa mpango. Mpaka tunaenda kukodeshewa mtu ya kupanga mawe, mtu ya kutupa mawe, hakuna kitu amejenga, ati akuja atuongoze. Hapana. Hiyo ni matusi. Namwambia hawa kinanyoro, sisi tuko na akili bwana, wacha kwenda kutuletea mambo ya hii mtu ya kitendawili ya kuni. Leo kana tibu. Tunaelewana? Hapana.
And you can clearly understand the Deputy President's frustration. The Deputy President had a clear strategy on how he was going to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I'm going to explain to you these 5 strategies and how President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have so far managed to counter each and every strategy the Deputy President had intended to use. But before we do that, I want you to watch this video so that you can understand why the Deputy President is frustrated. This took place yesterday in Nyeri, where William Ruto's allies, Kipchumba Murkomen, Didmas Barasa, and others went for a function there, but they were actually kicked out by people calling the name Raila Odinga right in Nyeri. That's something which nobody would have thought would happen in our lifetime, where the Deputy President was going to be stopped, or the Deputy President's allies were going to be stopped from addressing people by people purporting to support Raila Odinga in Nyeri town. Listen in.
Kabisa. Haya, asante sana. Very good. Mmejaribu lakini mchikaze kidogo. Bas, thank you. Asante sana watu wa Nyeri.
But how did President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga manage to corner the Deputy President? Before we get into all those details, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two and click the subscribe button. And also, for those who want to support the channel, the best way you can do is to click that join button and follow that process. It's a simple process where you'll be able to get some advantage over the rest. So just click that, then follow that procedure. Now, let me be very brief and go straight to the points. The deputy president and Raila and President Uhuru Kenyatta had an agreement in 2011 that they were going to work together for 2013 general election because the ICC cases brought them together. So they entered into a coalition through various political parties. That is the URP party of the deputy president and the TNA party of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And as fate would have it, these two gentlemen succeeded and Uhuru Kenyatta became the president, William Ruto became the deputy president. And in the first term of Jubilee government, William Samoei Ruto was the de facto president of the Republic of Kenya. At some point, he even bragged that yeye ndiye anaongoza serikali because President Uhuru Kenyatta was drunk. And Kenyans, especially their supporters, were very happy. And as we headed towards 2017 election, the deputy president started scheming on how he was going to win in 2013. He listed down all the weaknesses of President Uhuru Kenyatta and all the strengths. And he decided to keep all the strength, maintain all President Uhuru Kenyatta's strength, but work on the weaknesses. One of President Uhuru Kenyatta's weaknesses was that he was not enjoying support across the country. And some of them were historical. A place like Coast and a place like Western, they had issues with the president. So the deputy president embarked on a journey of just using a very simple strategy. His strategy number one was to ensure that any other serious leader from the larger Mount Kenya region was going to be knocked out in 2017. So the idea behind that is that the deputy president didn't want a situation where another serious presidential candidate or a potential presidential candidate was going to emerge from the larger Mount Kenya region. So by locking out these potential presidential candidates, it means the deputy president wanted to take charge of the local politics. So he managed to kick out Peter Kenneth, he managed to lock out William Kabogo, he managed to lock out Peter Munya, he managed to lock out Martha Karua, he managed to lock out people like the former Mukurweni member of parliament, Kabando wa Kabando, and even Ndungu Githinji. All these guys have confessed with their own mouths that it's the deputy president who was responsible for locking them out. And in their places, he brought very funny characters. Someone like in place of for example, in place of Kabogo, he brought in Waititu. In place of Martha Karua, he brought in Waiguru, and everything was working so well. But how has the president and Raila Odinga managed to corner the deputy president using that strategy of locking out these leaders? As we speak today, most of these leaders are the ones the president and Raila Odinga have reached out to. Martha Karua is currently the spokesperson of the larger Mount Kenya region. That means she has been elevated, despite the fact that there were hopes that she was going to be in the cold. Look at William Kabogo. What has happened to Kabogo? Kabogo, the guy who replaced Kabogo, Ferdinand Waititu, were actually kicked out of office. So William Ruto's plan for Kabogo is thwarted. What about Peter Munya? Peter Munya was elevated by President Uhuru Kenyatta to a full cabinet secretary. As we speak today, Peter Munya is the guy giving William Ruto deep problems. What about Peter Kenneth? Uhuru Kenyatta had wanted Peter Kenneth to become the governor for Nairobi. The deputy president then opted for Mike Sonko. What has happened? Mike Sonko has been kicked out. Peter Kenneth is now speaking at a higher level than even the elected governors in this country. So that's how the president has managed, alongside Raila Odinga, to deal with the idea of Ruto locking out their key allies. So that strategy has been thwarted. And that's why the deputy president is actually feeling frustrated. His second strategy, because his strategy was simple. Number one, lock out potential leaders from the larger Mount Kenya region. Then after that, you go and install new leaders and ensure that their win is through your influence so that you can buy their loyalty. So the deputy president then decided, okay, Kabogo out, these strong guys. But then there was other young guys whom he decided to elevate. So there emerged someone like Ndindi Nyoro. There emerged several others. He managed to influence people like Kimani Ichung'wah. Several other leaders, young leaders from the larger Mount Kenya region emerged. These guys emerged directly because of influence. So he has managed to buy their loyalty as we speak. But how has President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga managed to tame these guys? They were left to speak their minds outside there. So far, I'm told, for example, someone like Ndindi Nyoro has a serious opponent on the ground. Kimani Ichung'wah is facing hell in the backyard. And several others, people like Susan Kihika, who had hoped of easily becoming the governor. Of course, she might become the governor because she's also very popular. And the politics of Nakuru. But the elevation of Lee Kinyanjui is something which the president and Raila Odinga is doing. So that's how the president and Raila Odinga have managed to tame the new leaders whom the deputy president was using because of their loyalty. His third strategy was simple. Raid Raila Odinga's backyard. William Ruto had very clear path to his presidency. In fact, at some point, the only thing which was standing between the deputy president, William Ruto, and the presidency was the remainder of President Uhuru Kenyatta's term. So he decided that the president was weak at the coast. The president was not much welcomed in Western. And in some sections of Nyanza, the deputy president thought that he could do more. In fact, in the last election, the face of Jubilee campaigns at the coast was none other than the deputy president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. So the deputy president then embarked on a journey of, number one, direct engagement with the Raila Odinga supporters. So he started targeting some of key Raila Odinga supporters. At the coast, he was able to pick Aisha Jumwa. He was able to pick Jicho Pevu. Jicho Pevu is an independent guy, but he managed to win because of Raila Odinga. He managed to go to coast and pick someone like Owen Baya. The deputy president went and picked several others from the coastal region. Then he went to Western Kenya. In Western Kenya, a place like Kakamega, despite the fact that Jubilee did not win there, did not even reach 10%, they were able to win several seats. So he went there, and the deputy president started reaching out directly to the people in the hope that he was going to win their support. That was his first strategy. His second strategy was to create division within NASA. So someone like Moses Wetangula is being accused of being William Ruto's mon. As we speak today, yesterday there was a rally, was a One Kenya Alliance rally in Kitengela. Only Gideon Moi and Kalonzo Musyoka were present. Musalia Mudavadi and Waita were missing in action. It is alleged that it's because of the division. So the deputy president has managed to do that. But how did President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga manage to counter that? Simple. As the deputy president was focusing on Western and coastal region, the president was scheming on how Raila can enter into central Kenya. Central Kenya is vote rich. So by the time the deputy president was realizing, Raila Odinga was already climbing the mountain. So which means he had to come back. And the moment he was trying to come back, Raila Odinga was now going back to try and consolidate his base. So that's a strategy which the president has succeeded to an extent that today, if, for example, Raila is running, Ruto is running, so a determinant factor is likely to be Kalonzo. So that if Ruto will convince Kalonzo to on his side, Ruto might win. If Raila will convince, Raila might win. But remember, this politics, Raila Odinga is older, so both Kalonzo and any other young aspirant, presidential aspirant, would go for Raila Odinga based on age. The fourth thing the DP did, and this is why he's actually frustrated. William Ruto studied something during the Youth for Kanu, the power of money in politics. So he embarked on a journey of consolidating and raising funds for 2022. So when they formed the government, he identified some key ministries and planted his people. And scandals after scandals started erupting. So he managed to raise enough funds for campaigns. But President Uhuru Kenyatta was watching. So once immediately they were re-elected, the president then decided that I'm going to start closing some of the taps. So as we speak today, everybody who was assumed to be allied to the deputy president in serious government positions, people who would influence tenders, all of them were kicked out. So the deputy president today is just there, dealing or spending the money he had used before. Remember, the deputy president had also realized that the best way for him was to save on his resources. So he turned a national institution like the office of, like the official residence of the deputy president, and converted it into a campaign center. Apart from that, he also did something which was very, very funny, using government resources to campaign. So like launching a road here, launching a dispensary there, launching a project there, some of them which were just launched without even money allocated. So most of those are remaining white elephants. But the president and Raila Odinga then decided that we are going to starve this money of resources. So all his allies have been kicked out. All sources of funding have been kicked out. What is now being done is that anybody who is perceived to be allied to him are being targeted. And lastly, consolidate the Jubilee stronghold. So he has been trying so hard to consolidate that stronghold. But Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the president of the Republic of Kenya, and Raila Odinga, who is the people's president of the Republic of Kenya, are telling him, you can't consolidate Jubilee strongholds while we are watching. So the president and Raila Odinga are now disrupting the deputy president's joy in Jubilee. He was kicked out of Jubilee. So that was the first thing. After that, he formed this UDA. The idea is to use UDA to consolidate those former Jubilee strongholds. So Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta are also going to the ground. And as we speak today, there's a chance that Raila Odinga is actually disrupting William Ruto's missions in the larger Mount Kenya region. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Thank you guys. Share the video, like the video, drop your comments as a way of supporting or promoting this channel. Bye bye.